So Nisha, what's your favourite song from Mulan?
Obviously, I'll Make a Man Out of You.
Damn fucking right. Mulan is a 1998 Disney movie loosely based on the tale of a near mythical figure in Chinese mythology, Hua Mulan. The character is notably one of the few non-white Disney princesses in a Disney film, which makes it kind of awkward that Chinese audiences thought Mulan looked white. That girl be pale. Hi Lucas.
Hi.
Talking about Disney movies. Do you like Disney movies?
Yay.
We'll be quiet for this one, mate. This is Nisha's video. Don't be Nisha was saying when you weren't in, Lucas be blocking my shine, and I'm about to throw fucking hands.
Does that sound like something I would say?
It does. It sounds like something you'd say in my head.
So, Disney princesses. We've talked about them before in previous videos.
But let's recap for people who may not be familiar with this mythical pantheon of 11 fictional women, all but 4 of which are whiter than Angel's Taint. And it's worth noting that technically Mulan isn't even a princess. I mean, I think there was like 3 non-white Disney princesses, which is not a good ratio, all things considered. But let's move away from that and move on to how the film went about being marketed in China.
Well, seeing as Mulan is a Chinese air quote princess,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that obviously they'd want to air it in China.
They did, yes. And while back then China wasn't the massive market it represents today, which we can talk about in a bit, it was still a considerable chunk of money that Disney didn't want to miss out on. And the hope was that a film based on this mythological Chinese hero would perform well in China, hopefully better than the previous big hit over there, The Lion King, which was released in China, was a massive hit, and had all of the songs translated into Mandarin, and they sound fucking amazing. Example now. And Mulan got a similar treatment where it was translated into Chinese. And do you know who did the singing for the Chinese version of Mulan?
No, please.
It was Jackie Chan. I'll Make a Man Out of You. In the English version was Donny Osmond, I believe.
Yeah, Donny Osmond, yeah.
In the Mandarin version, it was Jackie Chan. You might be thinking, wait, Jackie Chan sung a song in a film? So no, Jackie Chan sings a lot of songs in a lot of films, because in all of the films he released in China, he sings the theme song. Like one of his stipulations is I get to sing the theme song, and he's got a load of albums out. And I was super annoyed. I don't own any.
He has albums. That's amazing.
Jackie Chan's got albums, man. The guy's got pipes. Jackie Chan has got some skills when it comes to singing. Obviously, he's a better martial artist than he is a singer.
Yeah.
But he has got a very successful and lucrative music career over in Asia. So one of his things that I want to sing the theme song, and for Mulan, when he's in China, they've got Jackie Chan in, and he sings I'll Make a Man Out of You, and it's super fucking awesome.
So I imagine it would have been quite easy for Disney to get a film about a Chinese princess to release in China and be loved by the country.
As restrictive as China is, I think one of the policies they had around the time is they only allow 10 Western films per year. I'm not sure what the policy is now, but it's similar to that. They're very restrictive of the outside Western media they let in, ostensibly, to promote Chinese cinema, but also because, they've got a horrible communist government who cracks down on anything. So, fuck you, China. Hey, I love that. I love I can say that. It's so nice to be free to say that. Should we put this bit in? I feel like we have to put that bit in now, because if we cut it out, it feels like we're not sticking with the rest. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
You'd think so, yeah. Disney, of all companies, you think they would be able to get any movie they want aired in China.
Yeah.
The mouse has so much money. But that wasn't exactly the case, because around the time they were trying to get China to air Mulan in Chinese cinemas, they had financed a film about the Dalai Lama, who China fucking hates. And China were not happy with Disney, and they played super hardball, and it's one of the few times I'm aware of where Disney were on the back foot and they were the ones who had to grovel and beg. And China did eventually relent and allow Disney to air Mulan in China. Oddly enough, it just so happened to occur after Chinese bootleggers had pirated the shit out of the movie and there was no interest for it. Also, I think they doubled down on the fuck Disney train by only letting them release the movie in a handful of cinemas outside of Chinese New Year, which is seen as that's their blockbuster season. And Disney was so desperate to get that China money, they bent over backwards and licked that shit covered boot heel, and they put in there and they released Mulan in Chinese cinemas. And before we move on to how spectacularly this film flopped and the amazing reasons that it did, how aware of you of just like how restrictive China is and how much companies are willing to bow down to them? Because there are some amazing stories about this.
Yeah, I don't know much about it really.
I'm sure you know one, Lucas. What was the Blizzard one? What was that, the recent one?
The Blade Shungans.
Yeah. Guy held up a sign of saying like "Free Hong Kong" when he was playing League of Legends.
Oh no, it was in his victory statement.
Yeah, in his victory statement, he'd won.
Yeah.
He'd won.
Yeah,
He'd won the tournament. He was the winner, and they took away his prize. Like Blizzard took away his prize money and banned him from competition because they're like part owned by China, and it's like Chinese pressure made them do it. They said that he didn't.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody believed that. And my favourite example of this is a lesser known one, but it's so funny because it's so sad and so pathetic, and it's the film Red Dawn. Not the original, the remake starring Chris Hemsworth. Because do you recall Red Dawn at all? The remake?
No.
Do you, Lucas?
Nope.
No.
Okay, well, in the original Red Dawn, the bad guys are the Soviet Union, Russians.
Right.
In the remake, though, you can't have Russians as the bad guy. It's a bit cliche. So they use North Koreans. And North Koreans are the bad guys in that film. But North Koreans weren't the bad guys in the original script.
Yeah.
China was. And then the studio put it out, tried to like sell it to China. And China was like, we're not going to let you air a film where we're the bad guys in China. So what they did is they just, in post-production, edited all the Chinese flags to be North Korean flags, and then dubbed over all the people speaking Chinese with Korean, but they didn't change any of the actors. And what makes it hilarious is that film wasn't selected for airing in China that year, so they spent all that money sucking up to, this horrible, repressive communist regime. They spent millions of dollars to make like North Korea the bad guy.
Yeah.
And they still didn't get in.
Still didn't let them in anyway.
So they burnt down, they licked those boots, they kissed the ring to try and get into China. China still said no. That's how desperate like studios are to get that China money.
Okay, so Disney managed to get Mulan released.
Yeah, like with some terms and conditions included, such as you can only release it in the dead season and only in a handful of cinemas. And you're probably thinking, oh, surely Mulan did. Mulan, it's basically a Chinese fairy tale just remade in the Disney style with like Jackie Chan's doing like the soundtrack for the thing. It was surely big hit. No. Chinese audiences were lukewarm at best, with criticism mainly being directed towards the fact that the story in the film doesn't at all mirror the myth of Hua Mulan.
Yeah.
With one sticking point for a lot of moviegoers being that the inclusion of the talking dragon was very weird. Which means that the myth of Hua Mulan is the only Chinese myth I'm aware of that doesn't include a dragon.
All right, that's it. Dishonor. Dishonor on your whole family. Make a note of this. Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your cow.
Stop. I'm sorry.
But my favourite criticism, and I'm not making this up, is that Chinese moviegoers thought that Mulan looked white. The first Chinese Disney princess to Chinese audiences looked white. And they said, Mulan doesn't look like she's Chinese. She's a white person. Why would we watch this? Just think about that, though. They try so hard to get this film over there. And the first thing Chinese audience said, she don't look fucking Chinese. Why is this white girl in this movie about Mulan? Who the fuck's this?
With this talking dragon.
This talking dragon. So, there's no dragons in the myth of Mulan. Wait, what? There's not? Isn't there art dragons all over Chinese myth? Yeah, not this one. But the story gets just a little bit better because in addition to flopping really hard, the reception of Mulan was so lukewarm that it basically alienated Chinese moviegoers for another decade. So Disney lost out on even more China money.
Jesus.
Stay winning, Disney. I think South Park did it best and most recently, so that's probably what's in most people's mind at the moment. Companies are just so willing to just I think the way South Park puts it is just suckle at the nourishing teat of China to get that money. And there's many stories we could talk about, but I just want to highlight for a moment the Transformers series. Fun fact, one of the highest grossing film series of all time is Transformers because of how popular it is in China.
Right, so what did they have to do?
Well, it's not that they had to do anything, it's just that those films the first few were very popular in China because they're very easy to dub over. But if you go and watch later Transformers movies, you'll notice there's a lot of Chinese stuff in that movie. I think Revenge of the Fallen, they all drink Red Bull in that movie, but they don't drink Red Bull as we would understand it. They drink Chinese Red Bull, which I've had and it's awful. And it comes out of a little gold can.
I just got picked up by Red Bull.
I think, why are they drinking Red Bull in those little gold cans? Because that's in China. And also, there's a scene where Mark Wahlberg has a drone. and he puts like a credit card in a machine, and he has a Chinese credit card. Mark Wahlberg, a guy who lives in rural America, has a Chinese bank account. But it's just because it makes no sense in the context of a story that this Mark Wahlberg's character, a fucking redneck, is drinking Chinese Red Bull. You should see Chinese letters and just scream. You should see it and wonder what the fuck it is. You should be yelling at it. He's got a Chinese credit card. And with that in mind, now let's talk about one of my favourite little additional factoids about Iron Man 3. Because are you aware that there is a cut of Iron Man 3 that is 5 extra minutes long that you can only see in China? People don't probably think, Karl, what are you talking about? These are Marvel movies. They get released with all the extra footage put in them. So no. Because in the Chinese version, there's a scene where Tony Stark goes to China. So Tony Stark, master of all technology, says that I have to bow to Chinese medicine as the superior technology to fix my problem. Goes there, and the famous Chinese actor is in the scene and performs the surgery. And they put that in again so people in China would watch it. And think about that. It's 5 extra minutes of footage basically saying China's so good. China is better than Iron Man. Iron Man can't figure out how to fix problems, but China can. China, please let us have your money. Please let us air Iron Man 3 in China.
Bloody hell. It's just, they're just going to any length just to get in China. They must love it. It's obviously
they love that money.
They love that
One thing
Chinese
Disney
money.
loves it's the taste of that Chinese money. It's little things like that, but it's you want that money so bad.
Yeah.
We don't know.
No, we're good.
I want that Desperados money though. I feel like those guys are out there. Where's this made? It's not. I hope it's not in China or Ireland.
Ireland.
Tequila Desperados tequila beer, the taste of Mexico from Ireland.